Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Realtor Hacks, Tips, and Tricks. I'm your host, or one of your hosts, Hallie Beeler-McCrory, based out of Dallas and San Angelo, Texas. Coach for Tarek El Moussa's team at eXp Realty, and also a host for Emmy-nominated TV show American Dream TV. And I've also got my lovely co-host on, Casey Stiers.
Hi.
Like powerhouse of North Carolina, based in downtown Raleigh. She is the downtown queen. I would say you're also the coastal queen. And she's also a host for American Dream TV, another powerhouse at EXP. And today we're super excited. We've got the marketing king on here, Jeremy Collins. He's has his own consulting firm, Level Up Consulting, for real estate agents. And then also he is a marketing consultant for Lux VT, which is a syndication for luxury real estate and for real estate agents, and also partners with EXP Luxury Division for marketing consulting there as well. So welcome, Jeremy. We're super excited to have you. I just learned that he's in Kentucky and is a horse guy. I'm not a huge horse girl, but being in San Angelo a lot, there's a lot of rodeo and ag and horse connections there. So I was
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and privilege, guys, to be here. It's an honor and privilege to speak to agents in general, to help them get to the next level, and anything I can drop in to encourage them. That's what we're about. So it's a privilege being here. Hopefully we can live up to the hype and have some fun.
Yes. And so I did, when I reached out to Jeremy, I was asking him just a number of, different topics he could talk about. And he gave me a couple, and I ended up putting them up on a poll on my Instagram. And how to get leads from your CRM was the overwhelming majority. I think it was 67%. So we're going to focus, I think, majority of our time there, but I did want to talk about some luxury stuff as well. So Jeremy, why don't we start off and you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started working on, marketing for real estate. Were you a real estate agent yourself?
Great
how
question.
did this all come to be?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a long story, so we're going to shorten it down a little bit for this. But for 11, almost 12 years, my wife and I were full-time ministry leaders. We worked in a church for almost 12 years. And, we grew our heart and passion to help people. That's really where that came from. And so, ministry people didn't make a lot of money, in those years. And so we started our own company. So I started a printing company, and we used to print for people all over the U.S. It was grew up very fast. And so that's where a lot of the marketing ideas and stuff came from, is owning that printing company. And then so from there, God called us out of the ministry world. And so we left the ministry world, had no clue what I was going to do at that point in time. And I had a buddy of mine that reached out to me who was a local realtor. And they said, Jeremy, you're a great genius at marketing stuff. You grew your business so freaking fast, come help us. And so I went to the company and I said, hey, yeah, what do you need? And so for about 2 years, I did all the training, all the marketing for about 120 agent office, really kind of help them understand how they can build their brands up, how to do marketing, social media marketing, all that stuff, pay-per-click ads, Google ads, all that good stuff. And then about 2 years into that, I had another broker reach out, and they were like, hey, I hear you're doing good stuff, and our office needs good stuff. And I was like, all right, let's talk. And so basically went over to their office and negotiated a little bit. They wanted me to come on full time. And I made a commitment to my family way back then that I would not negate them. Because honestly, in the ministry world, you can work 60, 70, 80 hours a week and really kind of lose focus on what family's about. And so what I told my family, I would never do that again. So I told her, I said, look, I won't work full time, but we can negotiate into a part-time deal. And she was like, no, I really need full time. And then about 2 days later happened. She calls me back and she's like, Jeremy, I really want you. And I'm like, great, let's talk. And she still wouldn't come off the full-time gig. And I said, all right, I'll just it. And she kept offering some pretty substantial money. And I was like, guys, it's just not about the money to me.
Right.
It's about, my family. And it worked great. 2 days later, she called me back. We made a great negotiation deal. And then for 7 years, I worked at this brokerage, helping them grow their businesses, help teams behind the scenes, generating leads left and right, a lead gen company formed out of that brokerage. I mean, it was massive. And then about, 2 years, almost 3 years ago, I said, all right, time to do something new. And so I started the consulting group. And now, we have a membership process where we support about 46 brokerages right now on a monthly basis. We have about a little bit over 2,000 agents in our membership. And
Wow.
every week we do live weekly workshops. We do Canva graphics. We do newsletters. We do it all for the agents. And
Wow.
so that's kind of where everything started doing. And then even about 4 years ago, before that, we actually started partnering with Lux VT. I came on as a consultant for Lux VT, Lux VT, if you don't know, is a global real estate marketing company for luxury real estate agents. And I have the privilege of being their marketing coach. And so I get the honor and privilege of every single week meeting with agents one-on-one, diving into their business as much as they allow me to, and seeing behind the scenes so we can actually start breaking things down and helping them, build lead generation up, build their brand up, and really kill it in their own brand and help them get the goals they want to achieve. So that's really where it all got started. I mean, I have the privilege now of speaking across the country on KV Core specifically. I do a lot of CRM trainings. I think I've done like 76 in the past year, just helping understand that using the tools and resources, having tools and resources means nothing. You have to actually use them effectively to grow your business. And so that's kind of where my realm has all got in. And to make the short story sweet, this is what I do on a daily basis.
Well, I'm so glad that it's KV Core is what you specialize in. I'm sure you could talk to a lot of different CRMs, but KV Core is actually the CRM that we use with So good.
I love it. You guys are rock stars.
Good for us.
It's some people, some agents, they just talk and they're like, yeah, I kind of use a CRM. I have it. And I'm like, no. If you're going to have a CRM, you're going to have to use it to grow your business. And there's so much stuff you could do with it. And there's so many tools and resources they're building out. The new AI tools are freaking amazing inside the platform. So there's a lot to it.
Okay, so let's dive into leads for your CRM. Where do you want to start off with this?
Yeah, I tell you what, one of the biggest things when people ask me, all right, Jeremy, I've got a CRM, but don't know what to do. What do I do? And so most agents, they don't work on their business. They work in their business, right? They're consistently, continually working in it. And they don't get a chance to work on it, or they don't make time to work on it. And so it's just like any business, you have to set that foundation, right? You have to set a foundation with a CRM, the same thing. So if you're going to get most success out of best ROI out of it, you have to do the foundation stuff. And so that means obviously the basics is adding people, right? Adding your database, adding their names, adding their phone numbers, and actually keeping a clean list. Keeping a list that makes sense, right? You don't want to just throw people in without giving phone numbers and adding email addresses. You need that. So that's one. But the second, where I always tell patients they're going to get the most success, is personalization. So you have to actually personalize your CRM. And does it take time? Yes, it does. But is it worth the time you invest now? Absolutely. Because your ROI is going to come later on because the investment of time you make now. And so that means going through your drip campaigns and actually personalize them. That means going through, because honestly, there's so many, I'd say 95% of agents out there that have, let's say, KV Core or any CRM that have drip campaigns set up, they haven't customized them. They kept them the same, and it doesn't sound like them. Right. And so we are in a relationship business, right? Right. And I tell people all the time, the more conversations you have, conversations lead to contracts. Contracts lead to closings. And that's just how it is. So we have to have real conversations with people, and you can't have a generic drip campaign. So number one, customize your freaking drip campaigns. It takes time, but you can do it, and it makes a huge difference because when they receive these drip campaigns, it actually sounds like you, and that's what we want.
Yeah. Well, and we just did a podcast with Carrie Sauvé, who's EXP's official AI consultant, and I mean, I feel like there's no excuse at this point with how much you can personalize with ChatGPT and how quickly you can pump stuff out. So
I just did this with an agent, and I think everybody should do this. We went through and downloaded the past. I think I did with this agent. It was one of my coaching clients I have, and we went through and we got 100 emails that they've wrote in the past year, and we downloaded them as PDFs, and we took those emails that they wrote, and we uploaded them to ChatGPT, and we took all 100, uploaded them, and said, "Hey, learn from this." And it went through and it learned from all this stuff. And then I went through and I said, all right, write me a drip campaign, write me an email blast, and started writing all this stuff. And it sounds just like this guy. And it is unbelievable the time it took. And it just works because now he doesn't have to think about it. He has an AI that's trained to write his drip campaigns, to write his email sequences, to write his text message campaigns. And it all sounds like him because it's taking the content he wrote and it's just duplicating it.
Gosh, I mean, and I have an operations manager who, I email with all the time. I could even have her just.
Oh gosh, it's a no-brainer. Every agent should do that. If agents haven't done that yet, like honestly, you should take all the content you've done in the past, whatever content, writing papers, your buyer's guides, your seller's guides, whatever you have, upload them as PDFs to the ChatGPT-4, and literally it will convert it, it will read it, it will learn how you write, and it will put out the next year of content in your words, in the way you say it. So every post you do, guys, when you do a video, do a post and go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I need a post that goes along with this video, and it sounds like you.
Yeah, I just made a note to do that. Wow. I didn't even realize you could upload stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. With ChatGPT, the new stuff, it's amazing. Yep. I do classes on it all the time. It's awesome. And I think that, going further, not just personalization, right? I mean, making people feel like you're talking to them. That's important.
Yeah.
But it's regular follow-up, and that's where you get the wah, 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 agents just fall down on their face and they just don't do it. The regular follow-up is massive. The CRM is there to remind you to reach out to them. One of the biggest things I tell my agents, my clients that I coach all the time is, I said, I gave them a challenge even a month ago. I said, all right, guys, I'm going to give them weekends off. So Monday through Friday, every day when you wake up, I want you to jump in your database, take 5 minutes, pick 5 people at random, and I want you to text them. That's your challenge. And it has been a complete game changer for my real estate agents. Like you'll hear, I've got stories of people texting me back saying, dear Jeremy, I checked in with them just seeing how their dog was doing. And they could reply back, and 3 weeks later, we're listing their home. Yeah. And I'm like, that's the small little elements that make huge differences.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love it.
That extra step, that personal touch.
It is. And honestly, if you haven't done this, especially with the KV core system, whoever's have that, take and do personal video emails, like as a birthday emails. Just
like how you sent one to me. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The birthday emails, the anniversary emails, like you can customize those. Drop the dates of people's information, their birthdays, for example, into your CRM. And every year they're going to get a happy birthday video from you. Like literally, it's as simple as pulling out your freaking phone and singing happy birthday for a second. Be a fool, right? Yes. It takes 30 seconds to be a fool. And then just record and then upload that video to your CRM. And now you're a fool every day because you're giving birthday greetings every day to people who have birthdays. Yes. And people love them. We used to just do the text messages, and we switched it to video messages now. And we're getting almost a 70% return rate, meaning 70% of people are responding now just because we added a video over a text message or an email.
That is so sweet, though. Like, I mean, anytime, like on my birthday, when I get stuff like that, and it's usually like people close to me, I'm like, makes me feel so good, And
that's what you're trying to do. As agents, we're always trying to make people feel good. Right. And that's to build that relationship up. And I mean, if you think about this, and I'm sure every agent that's going to watch this is going to think this. So when was the last time you received a video, email, or text message? I mean, think about it for a minute.
Not in a while.
Probably, I was probably the only one that probably sent you one, right? Yeah, I was probably the only one that sent you one, because you're going to remember that, though. Yes. And that's what we're trying to do as agents. We're trying to be the difference maker. What makes us different than Joe, who's an uncle of Sam, that's a real estate agent down the road? Yeah. And what makes us different? That's an element.
I think of you, Casey, too, because I know Casey hates texting. She's always like, I got to call you. Like, I feel like that would be perfect, especially for
like, a text message takes me 100 years to write it out. Half the time, everything's misspelled, so I got to delete. Stupid Southern accent.
Yes.
So then I can just pick up the phone and be done in a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, but same thing with a video, and they get to see your face and connect with you and like hear your cute accent and stuff. You know what I mean?
I tell you what,
you could get Rocky in there even.
The dogs. By the way, you know that most influential items on social media are kids and dogs.
Yep.
So I don't know why we're not freaking leveraging that as agents. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You should.
I know. I need to get
He's on my business card. I thought maybe.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. I think that's a great way to do it. I'll tell you what. One little thing, I just had an agent text me this morning that they got a listing, a $750,000 listing. It was a for sale by owner. Yes. And he drove past their house. I know we're talking about CRM, but this is a good piece. So he drove past their house, and he pulled out his cell phone. He turned his body this way, so the house is this way behind him. And he literally, the sign has the phone number on the for sale by owner. And he pulls it up and he says, hey, John, or hey, I just drove past your house. My name is Jeremy Collins. I'm a real estate agent here in the area. I think I can sell your home. And that was it. He just stopped there. And he sent the text message to that phone number on the sign. And he said within probably 45 minutes, he got a text back saying, let's talk. And it would be on the house that was on the market for like 6 months or something like that. It was crazy. Yeah. And he ended up getting a listing over a video because he just stopped his car in front of the house and shot the video.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. I just pulled up this too. This is when I first got into real estate. And it says, will sit for referrals. But I have now, so that was when I only had one Frenchie. Now I have 3.
Oh, you gotta have new photos.
Yeah. So it's just gonna be hard to wrangle them for photos, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so let's like even dial it back a little bit. Like how, and I have some ideas around this and how I do this, but to even use a CRM, you've got to get leads in there. You've got to get people in there. So like, just right off the bat, I'm telling my agents, especially new agents, like get everybody start like your sphere of influence, like the people that actually already know you and like you and trust you. Like get those people in your CRM right off the bat. I'm a person too. I love using the squeeze pages. I think in KV Core, it's like the marketing engine.
Yep, and you got a lead engine, then you go down to the squeeze page or landing pages. I love both of them, especially in tandem. If you use both of them in tandem, it's a game changer. And then if you're a team leader, holy cow! I just did a workshop on this just the other day. That a team leader can go in and create, let's say, eight landing pages, right? And each landing page has a hashtag on it, and so you can assign those leads to agents automatically on your team as those leads come in. Because you do a hashtag.
I need to do that.
It's a huge opportunity for generating leads. And you mentioned, especially new agents, right? Where do you start? Here's where you freaking start. You go through your Facebook. You go pull up your Facebook friend list. That's where you start. And you literally start DMing every single body on that list. And you ask them for 2 things. Say, hey, I'm building, and you be honest. Hey, I'm building my real estate database up. Can I add your email address and phone number? And literally, I rarely get turned down by that. I mean, they will usually DM you back their email and phone number pretty quickly. Yeah. And now within probably a couple of days, you have several hundred people that you could add to your database. But does it take time? Yes. But we're not in this thing for the short run. That's what I tell agents all the time, guys.
Yeah. Well, if you're a new agent, you likely have that time to.
You're in this game for the long run and set your foundation up, set your CRM up correctly the first time. And then 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road, you'll be ripping the benefits from it.
Yes. Yeah. And besides that, I mean, I love it. So Tariq El Musa, who we're connected with on our team, his big quote is real estate's a contact game. Like you've got to be making and talking to people every single day. Like that's the only way that real estate happens.
I've got one agent. I got one agent, quick story. I got one agent that he's a competitor. So I think he was a former NFL star or something like that.
Nice.
And he's big into competition. Mm-hmm. So when he got into real estate, switched gears, switched careers or whatever, got into real estate, he was like, I just don't feel motivated at all. And so I told him make a game out of it. So here's what he does now. Every day he gets up and he has a point system. So he gave himself a point system to whether like if he makes a phone call, he gets a point. If he sends out certain emails, he gets a point. Like, and so every day, if he doesn't leave without 8 or 9 points in a day, he's pissed at himself. And I'm like, that's genius. Anything to motivate you that's going to get you going every day, right? And I think that's where we have to find out what motivates us as agents, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's the struggle. I mean, for me, my motivation is my family. I want my family, spend more time with my family. In order to do that, I have to make some money to support them. And so, that's what my motivation. But there's some way you need to find your motivation. And honestly, is building a CRM fun? Heck no, it's not fun. But is it what you have to do to grow a successful business? In my opinion, yeah, I think you do.
Love it. I love it. So, yeah, I mean, there's a million different things we can do to get people in our database, but I think that's like just even talking about the mindset around that, I think is important for the rest of this conversation. So,
I agree.
Where do you want to take this next?
I think the next thing really thinking through is automation a little bit, because, too many people have not got automation set up. And every time I meet, one-on-one or do a consulting call with an agent, and they open the doors and let me see into their CRM what they got with. They're usually pretty happy with what they got most of the time. And then I'm looking through and I'm like, so there's like 140 people here that you haven't talked to in 3 months. Are you happy with that? And I'm like, they're like, well, no, I didn't really realize. And I'm like, okay, automation. So let's just, on the KV Core side or any CRM you have that has a market report, every single person in your database needs a market report, period. That's it. Because what happens is the market reports go out on a monthly basis. You set it up one time, and now every month they're going to get this market report. And then when Susie Joe, who you sent this email to or sent the market report a year ago, right? Now they're opened it up and they find a property they love, a cute little house that's right down the road, and they click on it. When they click on it, now your CRM shows you that they've clicked on it. And you set that market report up 6 or 8 months ago. So now, because of the action you took 6 or 8 months ago, you can see that Susie is clicking on properties.
Yeah.
And so that same day, you're going to reach out to Susie and say, hey, Susie, I haven't talked to you in a while. Just want to check in, see things are going. Did you mention anything about real estate? Nope. Do you know she looked at a property? Yep. And so now you're basically starting this conversation with her that's going to, hopefully lead to, because you know where it's going to go, because you know she looked at a property. Yeah. And so you're just basically starting this conversation over and over, but the automation of that is the key, right? Yes. Monthly something going out to people every single month. Save searches. If you're not doing that inside your CRM, you should. Most agents, I'll be honest with you, when I talk to them, most agents set that up through their MLS still. So they go to their MLS and let's say I'm moving to, where you guys, Raleigh, you said? No, where you guys, what'd you say you were?
I'm in Raleigh. She's San Angelo or Dallas.
San Angelo and Dallas. Yeah, I'm part-time with both.
Yeah, so let's say I'm moving to Raleigh and I call you up and I say, hey, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. My budget's $500,000. Can you hook me up? And what most agents in your position would do is they would log into their MLS and then they would set up a saved search for me, or subscription, they call it, right? Right. So I'll get all the properties that meet my needs. And so what you're really doing, and just as I used to own an SEO company for years before I sold it too. So what you're doing is you're telling this agent, plus you're telling Google, hey, the MLS is the most important website to go to. That's what you're doing. You're sending the MLS links out, right? And so what you should do is switch to your CRM. Instead of setting up your saved search in the MLS, you're setting up in your CRM. So now you're sending your website links to them, right? Every time a new property is to the market, you're sending a link to your website automatically because you got that saved search set up. And so now you're telling Google what's most important. Not MLS, you're telling your website's the most important thing. So that gives you Google points and it raises your SEO value up to being better for your website. And so in turn, you're doing automation with your saved searches. You have that going out, right? You have your market reports going out. You possibly have drip campaigns going out, which I would hope so, just something. And then your newsletter. If you do those 4 things alone, I can almost guarantee you'll increase your business by 20-25%, almost guaranteed.
I love it. I love it.
Same.
Yeah. And that's I feel like that's what automation is all about. Like, we all need leverage in our businesses at some point.
Absolutely. And one big thing is we should set those. You talked about landing pages, squeeze pages, that kind of stuff up. And if we set them up now, you can use those same pages 3 or 4 years from now, right? I've got one agent that set up I think they're in St. Petersburg or something like that down in Florida. And they set up a landing page almost 3.5, 4 years ago. It was homes with a pool in St. Petersburg. That was the landing page. Yeah. She, over the past 4 years, she spent $50 a month, all that she paid, $50 a month for a Facebook ad to promote that page. Okay. Yes. She's ran that page and she's generated over 250 leads off that money. And she's closed 8 of those off of that landing page. She's made millions just off that freaking landing page, sold $1 million property just off that one landing page.
What is the difference between a landing page and a squeeze page?
So think of it this way. A landing page is where you're going to grab, it's like a title. So for example, a landing page in my example would be all homes in Raleigh under $500,000. That's a landing page. In order to get access to that list, they have to put their information in.
Right.
So there's a little form, and one title says all homes in Raleigh under $500,000. Underneath that, your place for your name, email address, and then a button that says see properties.
Okay.
That generates.
Okay, it has the button that says see. Okay.
Yep. Now a squeeze page
is just like already direct to that.
Yep. A squeeze page is a little different. It's supposed to squeeze their information out of them. That's where it gets the name. So a good squeeze page could be all homes under $500,000, but it's actually showing you the properties.
Yeah.
So it's not like a page. It shows you all the properties. If they click on one of the properties, in order for them to see the property, they have to fill out the form. That's a squeeze page. It's basically saying, oh, teaser, you can't see the property information until you actually give me your information.
Yes.
And then that's where
they can see like one or two, depending on how many.
Correct.
Clicks.
And last I looked, the numbers were very low on the amount of agents that use landing pages and squeeze pages. And it really kind of shocks me.
Yeah.
So for agents that are listening to this and they don't have a landing page or squeeze page set up, do some Googling. Google best landing page. You go to ChatGPT tomorrow and type in best landing pages for an agent in Raleigh looking to grow their business. And it will give you 8 to 10 landing pages you can create today. Literally do it in under 5 minutes. And now you have them to use in your repertoire for the next 2 or 3 years. Save them onto a notepad on your phone. And then when you don't know what to post, because we all know when we go to post to social media, sometimes we just don't know. We all know we should post, but what do we post? There's no excuses. You can post that link and be happy about it because you already did it.
Yes, for sure. What I do too, instead of doing ads, I'm a big Facebook group person.
Oh yeah.
So I own a bunch of Facebook groups, but then I post in a lot of other ones. So I'll go and I mean, like, especially for a new agent that might not have a budget yet, not that you couldn't do $50 a month. Like that would be great, probably even in addition to.
Yep.
But I go and just for free go and post those links with a little caption in a bunch of Facebook groups.
I'll tell you one I just saw an agent do the other day, and it was genius. He spent $23 on a coroplast sign, so like a yard sign, right?
Yes.
And on the yard sign here's what it was. It was a QR code, and it went to his landing page. And it said home value get your home value for the neighborhood name. So let's say home value for Southland neighborhood. Yep. And that's all the text said, and had a big QR code on it. And so he put it out in front of his neighborhood, that's where he lives, that neighborhood, put it out within 24 hours before the sign police came and took his $23 sign. He got 46 people to scan that QR code.
Holy crap.
It was, I was blown away. I was like, are you freaking out? And I made him show me in his CRM, did you really do it? Because I thought he was lying to me. And I logged into CRM, and there it was. There's all with the same hashtag. It said, or yard sign, a trial or something like that, what he hashtagged it. Yeah. And he had like 46 leads in there. Yeah. And now what he's doing now, he's going back through and he sent every one of them a CMA from KV Core. So he created a CMA, and now he's sending them every one of them a CMA. And he started conversations. I was like, that's the best $23 you ever spent. He was like, yep, it was.
Crazy. Wow. And gosh, I'm like trying to think of like where you can maybe even get away with not having the sign police.
And the sign police are going to come, right? They're going to take it. But it's like, is it worth the 24 hours? Yeah, it was worth it for him. And so what if he didn't, he puts that banner, it puts another sign, $23, go spends it for another neighborhood.
Yeah. What is that saying? Act now and ask forgiveness later? Or,
I mean, who cares, right? It's $23. You go spend that at McDonald's probably. And I'm like, for me, it's totally worth it. Plus he didn't put any branding on it. And so it actually stays out there even longer because you don't have branding on it. Yeah. And so, it's just small things like that can add up to really kind of grow your business.
I personally, so I'm a team lead. I provide signs for my team.
Yep. So
we use flow code, dynamic QR codes, and link that with a squeeze page.
Perfect. Yep. I use QR.io. We've used that for years for all of our agents. Same exact thing. And you could actually, like, for you, if you don't use the sign writers, guys, and use that with your CRM, you're missing out. I've got one agent that he gets 4 leads every single time he lists a property off of a sign writer. And the signer basically paid $15 for the writer. And all it says is for info text, and he made an info code with the QR code or the call code in KV Core. And he says, for info, text info1 to the phone number. And he gets 4 leads every single time it lists a property.
Yeah. I think it's just that, I mean, that's lead generation is probably the hardest part of like getting into real estate and really getting your
Mhm.
business going. And then I think from there, it's probably client management.
That's true.
There's different challenges at each point, but when you're starting out, lead generation is definitely a mind shift. But if you can like get creative and utilize the tools you already have in front of you, like this.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so much you can do though for free. Like, just think, I mean,
Exactly.
or very, very low cost. Like another agent just the other day, one of my coaching clients, he texted me a picture and he said, "I'm gonna try this," and he got 76 leads off this. And it's just people's information, but he got their information. He went to a local bakery and he said, "Hey, can I give away a free box of donuts every month to your clients?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And he created a flyer. It basically said, "Text free box to this phone number to be entered to win a free box of donuts from your favorite local realtor," whatever his name was.
Yeah.
And he took that sign, he put it in the bakery, and 1 month in, he got 76 people to text that. So now he has their names and he has 76 people's phone numbers. And every time that comes in, he replies and starts conversation with these people.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable. Off of a $12 box of donuts, he's getting 76 people's information every single month.
Well, and we've even seen, so I don't know if you know Haas Pratt.
Yep.
The listing boss. He knows that me and Casey are big dog people. He said there was in Dallas, I think it was an AC company that did billboards all around town that were like, they were running a competition for who has the cutest dog in DFW region.
Love it.
And so it was like, go to cutestdoginDFW.com and you would like enter in,
love it,
your information and even stuff like that. Like, I mean, and obviously billboards are expensive, but that could be,
you could do it digitally.
Everybody thinks your dog is the cutest. Like,
yeah, just do a post right there.
It doesn't even have
too late. She already won the competition. It doesn't.
Oh yeah, no, there's no.
Like, it doesn't even have to
be. We got this.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be real estate related. You can relate it to something personal to you. It just has to give some sort of value to.
Yep. I think one, just talking about the CRM stuff, and one good tip that I tell agents all the time is, and I find agents that are really good on social media. So like they do videos, they do social media pretty well. Some of them do. And the problem is they don't take what they're doing on social media and actually email that out with their database. Like, for example, when I do videos, I just did one the day, I was running and I had a thought for real estate agents. And so I recorded the video and I posted on social media and I got lots of views and all that stuff on it. But what I did is I took that same video, put it inside my KV core and sent it out via email to my database and said, "Hey, I thought you guys would like this." And the return was massive. So I got so many people replying back to that because social media is different than email, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that just knowing you took the effort to do that on social media, do what you do there and put it through your CRM to the people that already know you, like you, and trust you, and you'll build that rapport even up more. And so, don't put it here and forget about your CRM. Create a piece of content and find multiple ways to get it out.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so from there, so we're sending market reports once a month. What about like if you have a new listing? Should you send out your new listings to your database?
No brainer. Honestly, when you get a new listing, especially like for KV Core, whatever CRM you're using, there's 4 big things you should do, right? One, you could take the listing, you got a new listing, you should log into your CRM and you should, let your office know about your CRM. Let the other agents that are connected to you in your ESP sphere or wherever you're at, right? Let people know about it. So they'll bring you buyers. That's one. Number 2, you want to go out there and you possibly run a property boost ad. I mean, I'm a true believer in property boost ads. I've seen the results of them. You pay $45, you pay $60, you run a Facebook ad to people and they click on it and you get the leads. That's 2. Number 3, you should email out your listing to your people, right? Because you never know who people know. And if you don't send it out, who's going to send it out, right? Yeah. I mean, so, why not send it out and let, Joe, who just sat in a coffee shop with Eric, who said Eric told him he was going to buy a home soon, and Joe just got this email. What is Joe going to do? Top of mind, Joe's going to email Eric and say, "Hey, I just saw this listing." And that's how we build the network up, is we have to stay in constant communication. Here's the deal. I would rather my people unsubscribe from me rather than me not sending them something, right? Because me not sending them something, that's a disservice for me. It is not their job to know what we do every day. It's not. It's not our people's in our database job to know that we're amazing real estate agents. It's our job to remind them every single day of that. And so that's what we should do. And I kind of feel like good when somebody unsubscribes, because I'm like, good. They don't want my stuff. That's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't ever bother me.
Nope.
Moving on.
Yeah, that's how I always do it. Say, let's, you know what, if you don't like me, keep on. And we're gonna keep finding people that do like me and find people that's gonna work with me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
Some people don't like the way I talk. Some people don't like the way I do stuff, and that's okay.
When I first used Rocky on my card, I had some people say, well, you're going to lose clientele. What if somebody's not a dog person? And honestly,
if they're not a dog person,
I don't want them anyway if they're a dog person.
You just saved me an awkward conversation.
I know. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Yeah. They're not a dog person. Probably not for me.
More than likely not.
I'm going to move to Raleigh. I'm going to become a cat. I'm going to move to Raleigh. I'm going to become a cat person. That way I'm going to do the cat marketing. You do the dog marketing. We'll the market.
We can go inside because Rocky loves cats. He became best friends with his nanny's cat. So.
I love it.
Too funny. So, okay. So where's our next step, you think?
You know, honestly, I think the real key is every single day, at least logging into your CRM and looking at it, right? I think that's for me.
So like some sort of consistency.
I mean, you have to have consistency. Like for me, I teach my agents that I coach. I said, you know, when you're drinking a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in the morning, whatever your routine is, fit in that 5 minutes to open your phone up and scroll through your contacts, scroll through your dashboard, you know, pull your computer out and just look. Because if you don't look, you won't know. And so for me, when I look at my CRM, I see people, and you should see conversations. So you should see in your head, okay, what conversations can I start today? And that's what's going to make this whole thing work. I mean, running a CRM doesn't have to be complicated, guys. It just has to be, you know, be consistent with it. You know, make it part of your daily routines. Because most agents, I talked to one agent the other day, they haven't opened their CRM in months. And I was like, and believe me, their numbers are down. And I'm like, okay, it could correlate. And so we are working on it. And now they've actually got a couple new listings. And so I think that's the real big key, guys, is being consistent with the processes. I mean, I just can't imagine opening up a retail store and not, you know, looking at my numbers or not looking at my cash register or not looking at, you know, the inventory for that day. I'm like, that just don't make no sense. But that's really what real estate agents do. A lot. They go in there and they run their business consistently without looking to see if their inventory is, or without looking to see. And I'm like, it is like having a bank account you never access, and that's for me. I don't understand. You know, our CRMs are bank accounts. They're people that have money that want to buy a home eventually, but we don't. We have a bank account we just don't ever access. Yep. I don't know about you, but I want to access my bank accounts. I want access to that financial, and so. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So we have to, you know, be more consistent with logging in and checking out, even though it's not fun, right?
Yes. Yeah. So, and you coach on all of this stuff. Yeah. Like you could help people get this.
Oh yeah, I mean we do all kinds of stuff. So, like, for example, we do a KV Core boot camp. We just had just 3 days ago. We hosted last Friday. We hosted a large KV Core boot camp for about 150 agents. And we just went through the basics and went through, hey, this is the basic steps to doing this, how to set it up. We can definitely do that. You know, I think, though, without bringing on a consultant, without talking to a coach or anything like that, you know, take upon yourself to saying, okay, I can do 3 basic things. I can add people to my database. I can do that. I don't need a coach for that, right? I can add market reports to people. It takes less than 3 seconds to do that. Right? You can do that as a person. And then lastly, you know, you can set up your emails up. If you just take those 3 steps without even calling a coach or a consultant, that's some big steps. Because once you take those steps, you know, as a coach, I can come in and be like, oh, I got some ideas for you because you have a people in your database. Let's figure this out. That gets me excited. But, you know, I don't want to waste a lot of time setting that stuff up when the agent can do that. I mean, honestly.
Yep. Love it. Love it. I went ahead and put your email on the marquee, Jeremy, JEREMY at RELevelUp.com. if you want to, connect with Jeremy on coaching or consulting.
All my Eastern Kentucky friends, they just call me Jeremy.
Yes, love it. And I did see you're on Instagram as well, Marketing Savvy Coach.
Yeah, just hit me up anytime, guys. That's where about, honestly, my passion is just to see agents. Like my wife got so upset with me the other day because I got excited. I got a text message from an agent that said, Jeremy, you won't believe it. I got a $1.5 million listing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I got so excited in the car. And she looked at me, she goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm excited. I get excited about when agents make money and get them excited. And that's really kind of what gets me up every day is finding agents, finding success, and meeting their goals and exceeding their goals. And so if I can help with anything, feel free to reach out anytime.
I love it. So I want to pivot a little bit. Speaking of a $1.5 million listing.
Yeah.
Since you consult a lot for luxury agents as well, I'd like to talk a little bit about how agents can pivot into luxury.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for me personally, this is breaking into the Dallas market right now. I want to do more luxury since there's more of an opportunity, in Dallas for it than there has been in San Angelo. Like San Angelo, there are luxury properties, but they're more like farm and ranch based, and that's just not.
Yeah,
I'll do them definitely, but if
you don't turn it down, right?
I'm not like your typical farm and ranch agent.
And honestly, here's the deal. I've been coaching for LuxPT for a little bit over 3 years now. Had the privilege of meeting every single week with luxury agents, and these are agents that are Manhattan and agents that are in Denver. They're making doing really well. Yeah. And here's the trend, and you don't have to conform. Let me just be honest here. You don't have to say be this luxury looking agent, dress the part. You don't have to in today's world.
No.
You can be yourself. Like I've got an agent down in, I think it's Fort Myers area that every listing appointment, he wears flip-flops and shorts and he is about as country as you can get. And he is crushing it. I'm talking about, $3 million listings here, $6 million listings there, like consistently. And he does not look a luxury agent. But here's the deal. If you want to up your brand, you can definitely take the pieces you have now and enhance them, right? You can add some nice imagery to it. You can make it clean. Like luxury branding is all clean. That's really what it's about. Keep it really simple. If you're looking at 2 flyers and one has just got a lot of just empty space, but it's very clean, that's a luxury feel. And so I think for me is you just have to, for agents, they have to take what they're doing now and really double down on the experience that you're going to provide these agents or these clients. And so like if for example, you want to meet a really high-end luxury agent, just have your ducks in a row. Make sure you know what the heck you're talking about and just present yourself in a way that you know what you're doing. I got one luxury agent that never listed over $1 million property. And he got a phone call from a client that's listing a $2.6 million one. And he called me up and they were like, Jeremy, I don't really know what to do. What do I do? I'm like, act yourself. Go into it. And you have a passion to help people and just make sure that gets shown. There's not a lot of difference in agents. And look at me, luxury agents, they tell you there's a lot of difference. Yeah. But there's not a lot, right? It's just meeting the right people, getting in that network, getting in that configuration of group of people. And honestly, you can rock it. I got one agent that literally I got access to a list of all the doctors in a certain area, a certain city area. And he had put all those doctors into his CRM. And he actually messaged them all and said, hey, I'm an agent. He gave me a little about history about himself. He went to medical school. He failed out, which is a great little story. And he actually put that story in an email to all these doctors. And within like 3 or 4 days, he had a doctor reaching out to him to buy a property in the $2.3 million range. And he had never listed anything over that. I'm like, we just got to kind of step out a little bit, right? Set yourself up in the right place that makes sense. And make sure your branding is on point. Start showing, like converting, start showing luxury properties in your area on your social media feed. Start showing, those prices you want to get to. If nothing else, just start in that mid-level price first and start farming that mid-level range first, before you go to the higher prices. If your average home price is $450,000, start looking in the $600,000 neighborhoods, right?
Yep.
And then that's what you're going to start getting after. And then next level, go to the $1 million neighborhoods, go to the $3 million neighborhoods, and you're eventually going to get there. It takes time.
Yeah. I love it too. I never even thought of like getting a list of, like career specific.
Oh yeah. I mean, think of high end people that have the income to afford those homes, right?
Yeah.
Think of the lawyers and the doctors and the CEOs. Like you could pull a list of all CEOs in the area, come with a really funny story about CEOs, and share it out. And you just never know. Is there a risk? Sure, people can choose they don't like you, and that's fine. But real estate's a risk, and we all know that. It's a risky business. It could go up and it goes down and it goes back up and it goes down for a long time. And you're like, what the crap's happening? And it's a risky business. But, I think all of agents that are really in it for the long run, we're willing to take risks.
Yeah.
And if that risk is to, cold call an agent or cold call a doctor that, you think's way out of your league, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's pretty simple, like you said. So it's the same thing like we were talking about, like sending out videos on, via your CRM, whether that be emails or text messages, and have some sort of like relatability. But then, the other difference would be cleaning up your branding. So making it more clean.
Yep. Just making your processes are set up right? Like if you already know, like you went on a listing appointment, both of you guys went on a listing appointment, you guys would do things differently. Yeah. Right. You guys have your different process, the way you do things. And so what can you do just to clean it up a little bit to make sure that, everything's right? So maybe you add an extra element of a text message that after you meet with the client, when you leave the home, before you leave the home, your next process is you're going to record a video and just tell them thank you so much for the opportunity to meet with them. Right. That little extra element is what's going to get you the listing.
Yeah. I love it. And especially if you have like something to offer too, like I think about Casey and I are both like hosting a lifestyle and real estate show. That would be like something really cool.
Absolutely. You could transition that in there, and people want to get featured on that, or, you have an influence that way. And, I think that's what you got to think, that these people in these luxury lifestyles, they want the clout. They already have the clout in some ways or respects. And so, anything we can provide extra to them and show them, hey, we go the extra mile for you guys. That's really what it's about.
Yeah. I love it. So any other, hacks, tips, and tricks that you have for real estate agents, whether that be luxury or not, or CRM based, or?
I think the real key to growing any real estate company, or every agent should be running their business, right? That's growing your real estate business, is to, one, understand what your goals are. Have those written down somewhere. I'm a big believer in writing your goals down. So if an agent has not gotten their goals written down, that's a great action item from this session, guys. Write your goals down, make it plain, right? And then start working on processes and systems that's going to get you there. The CRMs are massive opportunities, guys. And so if you're not getting results out of your CRM, you need to find another agent that's getting results and figure out what they're doing and talk to them about it. You need to reach out to a coach, reach out to a marketing consultant and say, hey, I know I can make this work. I just don't know what to do. And let them help you. Sometimes we do have to invest a little bit in our success. And so I think that's the key. And honestly, just stay focused. Don't get distracted. Don't get frustrated when the market's down, right? Double down on your work. Make sure this is going to work. Yes. So I think that's a good little tips and tricks, guys. Just have some fun with it and use the new AI tools. Man, they're a game changer.
Yes, I love it. Cool. So again, if you want to connect with Jeremy, it's jeremy@relevelup.com. Whether that be for questions about this podcast or coaching with him, questions about marketing, that's going to be the go-to spot. He's also at what was it? What was your Instagram again? Marketing Savvy.
Marketing Savvy. Yeah, it's Marketing Savvy Coach.
Oh, Marketing Savvy Coach. Perfect. On Instagram.
Yeah, follow me around. We'll do some fun stuff.
You gotta follow me back.
I always do.
And my little dog too.
I typically will reply back with a video too. So that's just how I roll. Everybody that follows me, I'll do a quick little video and have some fun with it.
Yes. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe to follow all of our podcasts. We are also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so don't forget to subscribe there. If you liked this episode, or if you didn't, we would love a review, whether that be good or bad. We're always open to whatever feedback and always want to improve. Yeah. Jeremy, thank you for coming on. It's, wealth of knowledge from you. So
yeah,
we
thank you so much
appreciate
for
it.
the privilege and honor, and hope to meet you guys soon. And
Yes.
Likewise, yes. Will you be
guys.
coming to EXPCon?
Should be. Yeah, that's down in Miami, I think.
Yeah, in Miami in October.
Yep, should be there. And then I'm a traveler, so my wife and I and kids, we always just travel across. And whenever I speak and stuff like that, we're going to Chicago in a couple of weeks, and we'll take the whole family with us. And so anytime I get to Raleigh or get down to Dallas area, we'll come see you guys.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Jeremy. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Realtor Hacks.
Happy Monday, everybody.
See y'all.
Bye.